Manuel Blanco Roma Santa, the first documented serial killer in Spain, had a kind-sounding name. A distinguished name, easy to remember. Unfortunately for his victims, Manuel was also known by other names: the Man-Wolf of Ayariz, the sacamantecas, the coco. It is even believed that he is the origin of the legend of the man with the sack, or the Lord of the Rib, as known in Latin America. Manuel Blanco Roma Santa is also the only recorded case of clinical lycanthropy in Spain that resulted in multiple murders. He was born on November 18, 1809, in Reguero. It is believed he came from a middle-class family, since he could read and write, a skill only a few could acquire at the time. He stopped growing when he reached adolescence and remained a rather short man. He became a tailor and married, leading an apparently normal life. But shortly after his wife died, for reasons never fully explained, he chose to become a wandering peddler and live his life on the roads. It is said he traveled through almost all of Spain and Portugal. In 1844, he was accused of the murder of a watchman named Vicente. Vicente's body was found after he had gone to find Manuel to collect a debt. Manuel did not appear at his trial. He escaped and in his absence was declared guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Instead, he hid in plain sight in the small village of Ribodachau and soon became popular among the women of the place, perhaps too popular. Over the following years, women and children who had at some point needed Manuel's services began to disappear. These absences took a while to be treated seriously, because Manuel wrote supposed letters from those people, which he later read to their families, claiming they were fine, had gone elsewhere, and would write again once they had settled. Rumors began to circulate that Manuel was killing the people of the town, a rumor that turned out to be true. He was tried in Escalona for the deaths of Manuela Garcia and her 15-year-old daughter Petra, Benita Garcia Blanco and her 10-year-old son Francisco, Antonia and her pilgrim daughter Josefa Garcia and her son Jorge, and the 12-year-old girl Maria Dolores. During his trial, Manuel claimed he was infected with lycanthropy, that he was a wolfman. At the time, the allegation was taken seriously. He admitted to 13 murders, saying he had slain them because of the curse. His case was archived as number 1779, the Wolf Man, and still remains in the courts of Ayariz. In his own words, he testified, "The first time I transformed was on the mountain of Cuzo. I met 2 big wolves with a fierce look. Suddenly I fell to the ground. I began to have convulsions. I turned around 3 times out of control and in a few seconds I was a wolf myself. I spent 5 days mingling with the other 2, until I returned to my body again. The one you see now, Mr. Judge. The other 2 wolves that came with me, whom I thought were wolves, changed back into human form. They were 2 Valencians. One was called Antonio and the other Don Ganero, and they also suffered a curse like mine. For a long time I went out as a wolf with Antonio and Don Ganero. We attacked and we ate several people because we were hungry." The judge asked him to demonstrate his lycanthropy and become a wolf during the trial. Manuel responded that the curse would pursue him for 13 years, and fortunately for the court, the 13 years had been completed the previous week. Strangely, forensic evidence confirmed that 4 of the victims had wounds consistent with wolf attacks. Manuel was acquitted for those cases, but was sentenced to death for the murder of 9 other people. A well-known French hypnotist of the time wrote to the Minister of Justice, saying that Roma Santa did indeed suffer from lycanthropy, a condition he himself had treated before, and asked that the execution be delayed so that he could study the case. The minister forwarded the request to Queen Isabella II, who commuted the death sentence to perpetual chains. By royal order, on May 13, 1854, Manuel Blanco Roma Santa was transferred to the prison of Celanova, where he died just months later. The cause of death is not entirely clear. Some believe he died of stomach cancer, while others claim that a guard killed him in an attempt to provoke his transformation. Roma Santa makes us think of the kinds of psychopaths, murderers, and strange beings that have always existed, but whose darkness seems ever more disturbing when we imagine the torment in which they must have lived. Beware of the wolves out there.